We are still busy with the past tense, verlede tyd, as deel van die hele les oor tye, tenses. So ons gaan aan waar ons verlede keer opgehou het. Ons is nou besig met nommer 6, waar sinne met 'n infinitief eindig. Nou wat belangrik is om te verstaan, kom ons kyk net gou-gou na hierdie woord. As ons kyk na ons stompie hand, hy gaan hier op jou arm en hy hou aan vir altyd. Hoe weet ons werk met 'n infinitief? Daar's altyd om. Dis belangrik later om dit te onthou en dan te plus jou werkwoord. Nou te is 'n interessante woord. Hy staan altyd meestal op sy eie. Daar is 2 woorde waarvan ek weet wat te deel is van die woord. Dis tevrede, it's when you are happy and satisfied with something, en tereg. Dis 'n vreemde woord, maar dit beteken, dis 'n invoegsel wat ons gebruik om te sê, hy het tereg tronkstraf uitgedien, omdat hy 'n moord gepleeg het. He deserved to be in jail for the murder that he committed. But for all the other examples, is te standing by itself, but it has to be connected to a verb. Please remember that. Goed, kom ons kyk gou-gou na hierdie voorbeeldsinne. Die infinitief is altyd aan die einde van die sin. It's like, remember your secret weapon, always at the end. The only word that can stand after the infinitive is the word nie. And we know nie has got a double, it needs to be double, and we'll get to that later on when we do ontkenning, sentences in the negative. Goed, kom ons kyk gou-gou na die eerste een. Hier het ek my subject, ek. Wil is my verb 1 en draf is my verb 2. Everything in the sentence happens before the infinitive. That's really important to remember. If you want to write something behind the infinitive and it's not nie, slap yourself because it's wrong. You cannot do that. Goed. Ons weet ook nou van die vorige les, wil verander na wou. Can you remember that? So, ek wou draf, that's all that needs to change, om fiks te word. So everything stays exactly the way in the example. It's only your helping verb that changes. Volgende een het ons nou nie. Ons het nou 'n ontkennende sin hier. Is 'n sentence, a negative sentence. Again, ek, subject, wil, verb 1, negative, and there's my other negative at the end of the sentence. That is the only word that can stand behind the infinitive. Ek wou nie draf om fiks te word nie. Easy, né? Really, really easy. If you know your rules, if you know your stuff, this is really not difficult. The next one is a little bit more complicated. I've got my infinitive at the end of my sentence. I actually teach my students, if you see an infinitive, get up from your chair, wiggle your bum, do a fist pump, because you don't have to change anything to the infinitive. It stays as it is. Maar hier het ons 'n probleem. Hier het ons 2 werkwoorde. Now the clue here is, and we will get back to this later on, there's a whole lesson on, not a whole lesson, there's a whole part of this lesson we dedicate to this whole thing of when I have 2 verbs. Now here, these 2 verbs are separate. I'm jogging and I'm swimming to become fit. If you can do them at the same time, there's another rule. But these two things you can't do at the same time. You can't swim and jog at the same time. And therefore, each of these verbs must get a ge. Ek het gedraf en geswem om fiks te word. We'll get back to this. Goed, so if we think about the infinitive, what conclusion can we come to? Two things. The infinitive part of my sentence, this part, stays in the present tense, teenwoordige tyd. It stays the same. You don't change anything to the infinitive. And this is the nice part, it stays in the same position. It's on the side of your arm. It's nowhere else where it will fit and be happy. Remember your secret weapon. Goed. Just to summarize, it's in the present tense and it's at the end of the sentence. Right, kom ons kyk na 'n paar voorbeeldsinne. Sy kan studeer om goed te doen. Now you have to be sharp. You have to see the infinitive to have the joy of the infinitive. So, mark the infinitive. Right there, it's an infinitive, and you know it stays in the same position and it doesn't change. It's that fist bump. Here, we've got the subject, kan, verb 1, studeer is my verb 2. All that needs to change is this word. What does it need to change to? Kon. Right, you need to go back to the previous lesson. Hy wil nie oefen om maarder te word nie. Now you have to be sharp and understand, there I've got my infinitive, right? And there's my nie. And it's 100% correct. It's in its proper position. It needs to stay there. All that needs to change here is wil, word, wou. What can be easier than that? If you can just analyze it in your mind and get your knowledge so that it can help you. Goed, die ander sinne kan julle self kyk en probeer. Okay, kom ons doen net gou hierdie een. Daar's my infinitive. Goed. Hy bly op die einde, hy bly onveranderd. Moes leer kook om lekker kos te maak. Guys, the important thing here is to remember that all changes that you want to make must be done before the infinitive. That is really important to remember. Right. I'm going to move on, and now we are exactly where we've been with the previous examples. How do you handle a sentence with two verbs that you need to change to the past tense? And there are two questions. Kan jy dit gelyktydig doen? Can you do it at the same time? If you can do it at the same time, and here's an example at the end of the sentence, of the slide, sit en lees. Can you sit and read at the same time? Yes, of course you can. You can lie and read. You can lie in the bath and read. So they can happen at the same time. So what are the rules? you use het, like always with your past tense. And what you need to remember, if you can do it at the same time, it's only the first verb that will get a g. The second one stays as is. Right. So if you can do it at the same time, this is what you do. If you can't do it at the same time, like jogging and swimming, the previous example, then both of those verbs needs to get a g. Hy swem en draf om fiks te word. Daar is ons voorbeeld. Hy het geswem en gedraf om fiks te word. So, if you get your head around it and understand what happens, this is also not too difficult. Kom ons kyk gou-gou. Die kinders lag en eet in die klas. Can you laugh and eat at the same time? Probably not the best thing to do, because then everybody is going to see the food in your mouth, so rather not. So die kinders het gelag en geëet in die klas. So, here, this little word can give you a lot of problems. So please make sure that you know how to spell this one. Just quickly, why do we have the umlaut? Why do we have the 2 dots? It's to help us with the pronunciation. So if you break this up into syllables, you have to understand ge, and now I have to pronounce the E very clearly. Otherwise it will be geet, and we don't have a word like that. Geëet. And that's why we indicate that it's a new syllable by using the umlaut, the 2 dots. Oma sit and slaap. Can you sit and sleep? Yes. So it will be het and gesit. This one. Die leerder studeer en ontspan voor die eksamen. Kan jy studeer en ontspan op dieselfde tyd? I don't think it's possible. So both of these verbs will need a ge, and we'll have the het, gestudeer. Now, look at this. Ontspan. Will that word get a ge? I don't think so. Because of that prefix. And guys, this is what they ask to see whether you know your rules. If you didn't know the rule about the prefix, you wouldn't have seen that and understood what you needed to do there. Okay, hier sê dogtertjie lag en huil oor haar nuwe katjie. She was so happy she cried. Kan jy lag en huil op dieselfde tyd? Ek dink nie heeltemal so nie. Die dogtertjie het gelag en gehuil oor haar nuwe katjie. Die baba slaap en speel, daarna lekker met sy voetjies. Same thing, the baby can't sleep and play at the same time. So both of those verbs will have ge. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so the next one is also interesting. When you have 2 verbs in one sentence without an N, is that possible? Yes, it is. An example. Ek hoor die klok lui. I hear the bell rings. Here you have to understand and have to determine which of those verbs are your main verb. Ek hoor. All right? Wat nou hier gebeur is, jy gaan altyd jou het invoeg, want dit is die eerste manier hoe ons weer is 'n verlede tyd. Ek het die klok, and this verb moves right in front of that one. Ek het die klok hoor lui. Ek hoor die kinders lag, ek het die kinders hoor lag. So this is important, and again you have to understand what they are trying to test when they give you a sentence like this. Here are some examples. Ek gaan my ouma vir die eerste keer in 'n lang tyd sien. There's my verb 1, or the first verb. Ek gaan, I'm going to see my ouma. Ek het my ouma vir die eerste keer in 'n lang tyd gaan sien. Guys, I've given you this example to show to you that don't mess with the rest of the sentence. The only thing that you need to change, and I want you to really hear me, the only thing you need to change is the verb. Don't mess with the rest of the sentence. You absolutely rewrite it as it is on your question paper. Sy hoor in die nag die hond benoud blaf. Sy hoor, there's my main verb, en die hond blaf. Sy het in die nag die hond benoud hoor blaf. Can you see that middle part of the sentence stays exactly the same? So don't mess with the word order. Just keep it like it is. And there are some other examples that you can have a look at in your own time. The next example of the past tense is something that you really need to grasp and understand and apply. Because when you write an essay or your oral or anything like that, this is a problem that comes in very often. And if you can get this right, it will help you to write a so much better Afrikaans sentence. What happens if you have these 4 words, dan, as, wanneer, en nou, in a sentence? And again, guys, know your stuff. Know these words, because when it is in a sentence that you need to change to the past tense, they want to see that you are cognizant that these words need to change. And that's why we use the acronym DAWN, just to help you remember it. Now, what happens with these words when we have to rewrite them to the past tense? The easy thing is they all change to the word to. So this is really easy to remember if you can remember the acronym and what it represents in your sentence. Let's quickly look at a few examples. Sy droom wanneer sy slaap. Now, how are we going to rewrite this in the past tense? Sy, there's my subject, I need het gedroom toe, daar's wanneer, sy geslaap het. So you will have to really know these words and understand how to change it into the past tense. Is almal dan teenwoordig? Now here we know is changes to was. Can you remember that? Almal. There's the culprit. It needs to change to teenwoordig. Were everybody present? Goed, kom ons kyk gou na die volgende een. Hulle doen nou, there's the culprit, hulle huiswerk. Hulle het toe hulle huiswerk gedoen. Culprit, sy swem as dit warm is, sy het geswem toe dit warm was. Can you understand what I'm trying to say to you? You need to pick up on all these little words and things that they put in your hurdles, that they put in your place, in your path, to see whether you understand the rules. So please make sure that you get this and that you know this acronym and how it changes. My favorites, hoef en behoort. Hoe skryf ons sinne oor in die verlede tyd wanneer ons die woord hoef en behoort in die sin kry? Now, first of all, we need to understand where hoef en behoort fits in. Kom ons kyk gou-gou. Hierdie is baie belangrik. Dit is deel van die infinitief. You have to make sure that you understand this. And on infinitief, we've looked at it previously, and there it is nicely explained again. We've got and then we've got te plus the verb. Now, what you need to remember, hoef en behoort replace So you cannot have a sentence with hoef and in the same sentence. If you want to write that, do the slap thing because it's wrong. Behoort, vervang, replace So you cannot have that in the same sentence. This is really key that you have to memorize this. Let's look at some examples. Die leerders behoort daagliks hard te werk. Can you see there's part of my infinitive? This one replaced They should work hard every day. Hoe gaan ons dit in die verlede tyd skryf? Die leerders behoort daagliks hard te, and what happens here? I have to gewerk, and now my het is again at the end of the sentence. Next one, sy hoef nie hard te leer nie. Hoef, I want to tell you this, hoef is mostly negative. So please remember that. There are exceptions, but if you can remember that hoef is part of is negative, it will also help you a lot. Sy hoef nie hard te geleer het nie. Can you see what happens with my het? It's going back to the end of the sentence. The position there. The position, it's in front of the nie, because nie is my last word in a negative sentence. Hy behoort elke dag te draf om fiks te word. Now here, you need to be wakker. You need to be really awake to catch what's going on here. First of all, we've got a normal infinitive at the end of the sentence. What do we know about the infinitive? It stays in that position and it doesn't change. So all the changes that need to happen must happen before the infinitive. Hy behoort elke dag te gedraf het om fiks te word. So guys, if you remember the rules, it is just so much easier. Let's just look at the last one. Sy hoef nie baie te slaap nie. Can you see hoef is combined with nie? Sy hoef nie baie te geslaap het nie. Why is nie at the end? Because it's the position of the last nie. It can't stand anywhere else. So please remember that. Let's quickly summarize and just for this lesson find out if you can write an infinitive in the past tense. You've got it. As jy 'n sin in die verlede tyd kan skryf met 2 werkwoorde en die voegwoord en, 2 werkwoorde en die voegwoord en, dan moet jy jouself afvra, kan ek dit tegelykertyd doen of doen ek dit apart? En watter jy dan moet byvoeg. 2 werkwoorde sonder en, hoor lui, hoor lag, kan jy dit in die verlede tyd skryf? Kan jy sinne met woorde as, dan, wanneer en nou in die verlede tyd skryf? En kan jy hoef en behoort reg gebruik in 'n verlede tyd? I thank you. I hope you can make sense of this. I really hope that you will memorize the rules and that you will apply them with great success.